Hello, I'm Tom Harmer, your county administrator. We're here today for Inside View. Joining us is our Human Resources Director, Chris Loria. Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks, Tom. It's great to be here.
You're relatively new to the team. I think it'd be helpful if you could share a little bit of your background.
Sure, absolutely. Born and raised in Southgate, Michigan. Went to college at Central Michigan University, where I studied business administration and hospitality services. My first work experience took me to PepsiCo Corporation, where I worked in operations, and then in human resources for the Taco Bell Corporation. Moved on to there and worked on my MBA, finished that off in human resources, and then got my first experience in county government in Wayne County in the Detroit area in Michigan, where I worked in county government for 5 years, heading up an employment training division that helped to put displaced and laid off auto workers back to work. I moved on from there to more Fortune 500 human resources experience with Cisco Corporation, where I spent 20 years, 15 of them in Detroit, the last 5 in Pittsburgh, heading up the operation there, and started working here in August of 2016.
And we really appreciate you joining the team. You probably get this question a lot, but how does your mix of public and private sector experience help you as the Human Resources Director here?
It helps a great deal. Having worked in the public sector before really gave me a good feel for how government works, but also how the employees of government entity works as well too. But it also, having the private sector experience, allowed me to have a lot of experience in different areas of business itself. And the businesses are very similar in a lot of respects, but very different in a lot of respects as well too.
And if you think about Sarasota County, we have 18 different departments, and some of those are business enterprises. They're more similar to a private sector business than, say, government, when they're based on the fees and other pieces to the puzzle, than more than just what you think of traditional government services like police and fire. So we have that mix of all operations. So I think your background is very helpful. So explain to me, though, what does a Human Resources Director do?
We do a lot of different things, mostly people focused within the county. I have 6 departments that work underneath me that I'm responsible for the coordination and strategy of. I have employment labor relations and our workforce planning team, which handles all of our onboarding and recruitment of our employees. I have safety and risk underneath me. I have employment and training, organizational development, data management and analytics, and then our benefits and wellness team. And then also work with our volunteer coordinator that falls under human resources as well, to our 1,000 volunteers.
Yeah. You think about, you mentioned 1,000 volunteers, and I know in the county alone we have over 2,200 employees, but some of your programs are broader than that because you help support some of the other elected officials in the county, whether it's some support to the sheriff's office in certain key areas related to benefits, or some of the constitutional officers like the property appraiser, tax collector, et cetera.
Yeah, we're providing support for those teams, not only in human resources, they have their own departments in HR, but we provide as much support as we possibly can, and then the coordination of the benefits, absolutely.
Yeah. Are there any interesting facts about your department, your operation, that you think the public would be interested to know?
I think it might be, from the public standpoint, we're a lot larger than maybe people think. We have not only our 2,200 employees with the county, but when you include retirees, about another 1,000 to 1,200 retirees. So we're handling benefits for 3,400 active as well as retirees. And then when you include spouses and children, over 7,200 employees that we're handling benefits for just in the county itself.
Yeah, it's important to think of that broad nature of everything that you touch, both from people interested in coming to work for the county all the way through once they retire and still work through benefits and retirement issues that may come up from time to time.
Absolutely, and we stay in close contact with our retirees. We have events during the course of the year that to make sure that we're handling all the issues that are out there.
So if you think about recruiting new employees, can you talk a little bit about what you see as our process and things that we're doing to make sure that we find the best employees?
Sure. Sarasota County, we pride ourselves on being a very diverse and inclusive organization, and to ensure that we stay that way. We participated last year alone in 30 events in our community, which is a lot in the course of a 52-week year. job fairs we held not only at county properties, but we participated in a lot of local organizations, in colleges and schools. And we're out there all the time with the message that it's a great place to work.
Yeah. So when you think about the organization and what's going on, not just here in Sarasota County, but across the state and the country with the baby boomers retiring, is that impacting Sarasota County?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, our workforce is very experienced, and so it's always incumbent upon us to make sure we're finding talent from everywhere, at the college level, trade schools. We utilize social media now extensively. We're doing a new upgrade in our system for our application system. So it's important that we stay up with the times and make sure that we have systems that can support the talent that wants to come to work for us.
I know your department has recently been recognized in an area. Can you share a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. Yeah, very, very proud of our health and wellness team was recognized by the State and Local County Association, got an innovation award. And we try to pride ourselves here in all departments at Sarasota County with being innovative, and we're challenged with that to continue to find new and innovative ways of doing business and utilizing our resources appropriately. And that unit was recognized in 2016 with an innovation award for how we use data and analytics in setting up our wellness and our benefit plans. And that's something that we continue to look at going forward, is what's the best possible programs we can put in front of our employees, but cost efficient and have the best utilization of our resources.
Mm-hmm. So we talk a lot about customer service here in Sarasota County, and a lot of times you think about that as external customer service to the public, to our visitors, and that's really, really important. But what about from your perspective? Obviously, there's a lot of internal focus on customer service as well.
Absolutely, and customer service is something we talk about every day, not just in human resources, but in all departments. And recently we've just put together what we call our Smooth Sailing Comprehensive Customer Service Program that we're rolling out here in 2017 to every employee of the organization. That program itself is really going to define how we see customer service, not only for our internal customers, but our external customers, and how we treat people and what our expectations are as an organization for every employee of the organization, and how to treat our customers. One of our basic concepts is what we call BOAT, B-O-A-T. It's be responsive, offer solutions, provide assistance, and then think team. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing here in 2017.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the acronym because I think that's something, again, sometimes it can be perceived as the external focus, which it is, but the exact same principles apply internally. You mentioned be responsive is the B in BOAT. Yeah. And how important is it for us to be responsive among the various departments and employees, and how does that then leverage a positive customer service experience for the public?
Yeah, many of our departments, human resources is one of them. We do have external communication with our citizens, but we have a lot of internal communication with all of our other departments. And so that's one of the things that we look at, being respectful and making sure that we're timely in our responses. And if we're treating our internal customers that way, we know that we're going to be treating our external customers that way. And my staff in particular, we pay close attention to citizen surveys and how we're perceived, not only as a team, but as an organization. And it's important for us to continue to focus on customer service.
Good, no, I appreciate that. And I think that the next piece of the acronym is offering solutions, and I know we talk a lot about that internally, that sometimes with 2,200 employees, everyone has their own job, and they may be contacted both internally or externally about an issue or a question or a need for service or information, and they may not know the answer to that, or maybe what they're asking for doesn't work, but the idea of offering solutions is trying to listen and understand what they're trying to accomplish and then help them figure out a way. So I think it's really important that you guys include that as part of your concept and your focus and your training.
Absolutely, and with our one team concept that we preach throughout the organization and practice every day, it's important that we understand what other departments are doing so we can provide those solutions to our internal or external customers. Yeah,
because with 18 different departments and 2,200 employees, I think the public doesn't distinguish between whether you work in public works or public utilities or parks and rec or libraries or any of those areas. What they know is they're contacting Sarasota County, and they're expecting that we'll respond to them as Sarasota County. And it's kind of like a fire and emergency services situation where the public doesn't often look at the patch on the shirt. They're more interested in, are they qualified, are they professional, are they responsive, are they helping me?
Right.
And so that one team concept, I think, is important and helps all of us there.
Our goal when somebody comes into our department, and we're located on the first floor of the county administration building, is to have them not go any other departments, provide them with the solution, whether it's a human resources or people question, or if it's another organizational question. If we can answer it or chase down the answer for them, we'd like to do that.
Yeah, so how does the public then reach your department or make contact with your department or interact with human resources?
Yeah, scgov.net, under the government tab, there's a human resources area they can click on. There's a lot of information there on things that take place within our department, our contact numbers. That's the best place to get a hold of us.
Very, very good. So if there was one message that you wanted to send to the public about the services that you provide through your department, what would it be?
I think that the one message I want our citizens taken away is that, you know, with 2,200 employees, we have a very hard-working group of people here at the county, in that it's a very diverse and inclusive environment. Our employees work very hard every day to take care of those issues, and you know, we're very proud of our volunteer program as well too. I have so much respect for our volunteers. I've had an opportunity in my 5 months here to meet a lot of our key volunteers, and I look forward to meeting even more of them. And they're critical to not only how we operate our parks and libraries, but in every department. And you know, that's part of our team here. So I think that's the one takeaway, is that it's an organization that's working on behalf of our citizens and working hard every day to make sure that we're doing the right things.
Yeah, and I think we sometimes don't talk too much about the volunteers and all the things that they do. I know when you come into the building here downtown, there's often a volunteer here to help greet you. When you go out to Siesta Beach and you see the ambassadors that are out there to help, or when we have cleanup days, or you go to a park and sometimes you don't even realize the people that may be interacting or providing answers or helping you are volunteers and not full-time employees of the county. So it really does help us provide a high level of service.
No question, they have great attitudes. You would never know, like you said, that they're you know, they're volunteers and not county employees. And for me, having a chance to look behind the scenes at some of the ones that aren't in front of citizens, that are working with our books in our building and making sure that things are getting processed, they're in our fabric here, and it's and we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, and I think we talk about this a lot in the business of being in the public sector, is our biggest expense in the budget is typically personnel costs, and the employees are also the ones that are out there in the front lines every day. So they're our most important asset. They're the ones that make a difference on the services we provide. So it's so important that we have a positive work environment. We recruit the best employees we can to provide that service. So thank you for obviously your efforts to do that. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Inside View.